Governor of Michigan signed a new law that says that landlords can't deny tenants based on source of income. What that really means is landlords can't deny tenants with Section 8 vouchers. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, I have another stupid story for you today about another place that passed a law that says that landlords can't reject tenants with Section 8. Okay, it's the state of Michigan. The entire state of Michigan now says that, hey, it's illegal if a landlord doesn't want to deal with their stupid bureaucracy and the stupid government overreach program that they call the Section 8 Housing Voucher Program, okay? So I got big problems with this, okay? My personal opinion is that landlords should be able to operate their businesses as they see fit. They shouldn't have to have the government as a middleman in their property if they don't want to, because the government makes everything worse. Period. They make everything worse. Now, if you want to, believe me, there are plenty of landlords out there who want to deal with Section 8. They believe that Section 8 is a good deal for them. You know, it's usually people who have lower income housing that is very, very inexpensive in a bad part of town. And they realize that the Section 8 voucher covers more than the cost of the rent and any repairs or issues that they have to deal with, right? But what people don't want is, hey, I got a nice house over here in the suburbs that cost me $500,000 and I'm trying to rent it out, but I have to rent to these people with this voucher, and these people, you know, are going to tear the place up. I'm not going to get reimbursed from the Section 8 program for the amount of rent that I believe the place is worth. I'm going to have to jump through all these stupid ass hoops. I mean, it just pisses me off, okay? And, you know, that's why I say, hey, it should be left up to the landlord. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. So first of all, if you're a landlord, does the place where you own rental properties, do they require you to accept Section 8 vouchers? Second of all, do you think these laws are actually making an impact on people who have Section 8? Do you think that these people suddenly are able to find so much more housing? Okay? And finally, okay, do you believe that if they put these laws into place, suddenly landlords are going to make it easier for these people to find housing? Or do you believe, like I do, that they're going to find other ways to reject them? Okay, I ask these questions because, simply put, you already know what my opinion is. I've covered many articles like this before. It's usually about cities and towns or counties, right? But sometimes it's a whole state. And unfortunately, the state of Michigan, it looks like they are passing stupid laws that are going to make no difference but punish the small landlords, okay? Anyway, let's get into this article and see what it says. This article is coming from the DetroitNews.com, and it says, Michigan landlords can't deny renters based on source of income under new law. Let's get into it. Michigan landlords can't deny accommodations to potential renters based on their source of income under legislation Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer signed into law Monday. Whitmer signed 3 bills of a 5-bill package that would prohibit a landlord from denying a rental unit based on source of income. Legislation that seeks to expand housing options for individuals who would otherwise be denied because they received state aid. The 2 remaining bills in the package have not yet been presented to the governor. So yeah, they think that this will increase housing options for people who otherwise would be denied, because, you know what? Landlords are sitting out there and they're just saying to themselves, you know what, this tenant is perfect in every way, but they got a voucher, so therefore I'm not going to accept them. Okay, that's a minuscule number of people. Instead, what we see is that a lot of the people who have housing vouchers also have other issues. Perhaps evictions on their record, perhaps terrible credit, perhaps, you know, awful unemployment history, or employment history, I'm sorry. And they can't even cover the small portion of the rent that they have to pay themselves. And so landlords, they're sitting there and they're questioning, okay, I've had issues with Section 8 tenants before in the past where Section 8 tenants have torn my property apart. I've had issues with the local housing authority that issues these vouchers before where I didn't get paid for a long time. I've had issues with the inspections before where I had to make a whole bunch of thousands of dollars worth of stupid repairs, and you know, for that were completely useless and that a regular tenant wouldn't have required, right? Do I really want to rent to this person? And a lot of landlords, especially us small guys, right? I own a few single family houses, so I don't want to have to deal with that. That's Pretty simple, right? Now, if you're a big landlord and you've got plenty of money to deal with it and plenty of, staff that can deal with jumping through all the hoops and dealing with the nonsense, go for it. If you own, like I said, I remember when I got started, houses were cheap. I mean, just a few years back, and you could buy homes, we'll just say for sub $100,000 that were renting out for substantially more than that, right? And so that's what people were buying. They were buying these super cheap homes down in the hood, right? These are high crime areas, right? And they were renting these homes out to people with Section 8 vouchers. And when I say 100 grand, I mean, these houses might have been cheaper than 50 grand, honestly. So, like, the amount that the vouchers were paying was so much more than the loan amount and all your expenses that landlords were making a very good profit. And so that's why a lot of landlords were renting to the Section 8 tenants, and that's why a lot of landlords were dealing with all the hoops they had to jump through because they were making money. So what is the solution? That's what I keep asking people, right? What is the solution when landlords don't want to rent to Section 8 tenants? It's not to pass a new law, okay? That's what they think. That's what the politicians think. They're like, we got to force these landlords to do it. No, you don't have to force a landlord to do something if you sweeten the pie, okay? You have to basically pay landlords extra, a bonus or higher than market level rents to rent to Section 8 people. It's that simple. Okay, so for example, if my home is, let's say the rent here is $1,000 a month. Well, you need to pay me as a landlord maybe $1,300 or $1,500 a month. And then I will think, okay, maybe it is worth it to jump through all those hoops. Maybe this is what I need to do, right? Now, I realize that, hey, that's going to cost the government a lot of extra money, right? But I'm not a fan of government programs anyway. I'm not. If they're going to have these programs in place, though, they need to have a solution that is beneficial for both the tenant and the landlord, and not where the landlord has to take it up the rear so that the tenant can have somewhere to live. If the landlord has to take it up the rear so the tenant can have somewhere nice to live, guess what? They're just not going to do it. They're going to say, hey, I'm not going to invest in this place. I'm not going to rent my properties out. You can go to, and don't come back. So let me continue with this article. I am committed to growing access to affordable housing so every Michigander can raise their family in a vibrant community, Whitmer said in a statement on the bill signing Monday. Michigan Realtors, the Apartment Association of Michigan, and Property Management Association of Michigan indicated they were neutral on the Senate bill signed by Whitmer Monday. But the Property Management Association voiced continued opposition to the House bills that are waiting to be presented to the governor for her signature, according to a nonpartisan House Fiscal Agency analysis of the legislation. The legislation, which passed along party lines in the Democratic-controlled House and Senate earlier this year, would expressly prohibit a landlord from denying individuals who receive any kind of government assistance, including housing subsidies, public assistance, Social Security, or veterans benefits, right? And so keep that in mind, okay? If you receive any kind of government assistance, you can't be denied. So if you get food stamps, right? Food stamps. I'm sorry, what do they call it now? They got a fancy card, or I can't even remember what they call it now, but the old term, for us old people is food stamps, right? If you get food stamps but you got terrible credit, you got 6 evictions on your record, you got arrested for murder last week, right? Landlord can't deny you. That sounds kind of dumb to me. I mean, I don't know what you think, but I'm telling you what I think because this is my video, okay? That sounds kind of dumb. So yeah, I understand the opposition to it. Any kind of government assistance means that a landlord can't deny you. What idiocy is that? It's like they write it down on paper and they're like, this is a good idea. This will help people, right? And the only thing it does is it scares landlords away. That's it. It's harder in a place like Michigan to find places outside of the state. If you're up investing in Detroit, it's not like there's a state line real nearby. But you know what? I've done long distance real estate investing for years. And I am perfectly willing to say, hey, I'll put my money over here where there aren't all these anti-landlord laws. You know what? And I will be just fine. Yeah, I might, have a little more difficulty and have to pay a few more expenses out of pocket to deal with property management and all that's nonsense, right? But I don't have to deal with laws that are literally stealing money from you or causing you great deals of stress. What do you think, okay? Do you think I'm right? Or do you think that landlords should have to accept Section 8 vouchers? Put a comment section down below.